Hello there. We are going to learn how to paint a little cat today. And we're going to start off with a plain canvas. You can buy these at Walmart or I'm sure any craft store. This one is an 8 by 10. I think you can get 2 in a package for like $4. And what you want to do is get it and then choose what color that you want to paint. And I have my palette here full of colors I've chosen. And I have a cat half started right here. We might go to him later. But you paint your background. You choose whatever color you want. In this one, I have a red one. And the first thing that I usually do is I get a pencil and I kind of sketch, what I'm going to draw. But in this case, I'm pretty familiar with what I'm drawing, what I'm going to paint, so I don't need to, but I am for the audience here. Okay, at the top, you want to leave a little space at the top. You don't want to go directly to the top. You just make a little arch, maybe about, an inch and a half or so. And obviously you're not going to be able to see. So I guess we're going to pretend. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use white paint and pretend like this is my pencil. And you just want to do this. And my white paint has green in it. But don't worry about it. It's no big deal. And we're going to paint our little cat. This is like his head. You just want to see that. Almost like a partial circle or an upside down U. And then when we get to this point here, we're going to veer out just a little, almost, and then come in at the bottom, almost like you're painting a bowling pin. Let's do that where you can see it. It goes out just a little, and then it starts to come back in at the bottom, and you don't want to go all the way to the bottom. And this side, we're going to do the same thing. You're going to go out, and then you're going to go back in, and see, they're uneven. What are we going to do? Well, we're just going to fix it. We're going to come out here. And we're going to fix it. See that? Because we're going to paint the whole cat in a few minutes. So we're going to make him a little bit fatter, where he comes in a little better at the bottom. See that? And we might do the same thing over here. But this is your basic shape, almost like a bowling pin. And then you want to paint all this in. And you're going to give him ears. See at the top, just little ears, and they don't have to be perfect. They don't even have to be symmetrical, exactly alike. But see, you give him little ears. They're not quite pointed at the top, but almost. And if you mess up and get paint out like I just did like that, just make his ears a little bigger. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, and then if you want, you can give him after we have all this colored in, you can give him a tail. You start down here near the bottom. And you go up, go towards his body, then you make a little curl, see? And then at the bottom, you make the base of his tail a little bit fatter, and then it gets a little thinner as it goes up and curls around. Now again, we're going to go back and paint all this in. Now for time's sake, I have another one already started, but it's a different color, so we're going to work with him. I wanted to show you how it looks when it gets filled in. And this one is green and blue. Now see, let me pull this other one over here. When you fill it in, you see what you got going on. See, they're not exactly identical. No two people's is going to look just alike. And if, like on this, see, I have a little bit, I got paint all over my fingers, see? This is just a little bit messy. Well, that's all right. You go over here, you get a clean paintbrush, you choose the color, and then you go over here, and you just fix it. And when that dries, it'll look awesome, like you've never made a mistake. And I want you to know with this acrylic craft paint here, sometimes it globs up, and if it globs up right in the middle of wet paint, you just get your finger and scrape it out, then paint over it. It's all right. It's no big deal. So anyway, we have our cat basically painted. Now what we want to do is, I'm going to grab another paintbrush because I keep making messes. And I'm going to get some white. You want to get some white. And up here, kind of underneath his ear, right in here, you're just going to paint a little white circle. And then another little white circle that's about the same. They don't have to be exact. It's not rocket science here. See that? That's going to be his eyes when we're done. And Then I would like to do him a pink nose. So we're going to get a different brush. We're going to get this. How about, we'll start off with the bright pink. I don't know, if I don't like it, I'll just change it. Now for his nose, we're going to just do a little arch like this with a little V. Whoop, I'm not even filming it. A little arch, and it comes down a little V. And this paint must not be shook up because it's not going on very well. Sometimes these paints are kind of oily. If you don't shake them up, you get a lot of oil instead of, you know, color there. But you can get the picture. And then we're going to get another teeny tiny little brush up here somewhere in my brushes. See, I'm making quite a mess. It's messy. You want to get yourself a spot. See, I'm painting actually on the floor. I'm sitting down. He's just on my feet. On this tile floor because the paint, as you can see, I've got it all over the floor here. See, and it's dry, but it scratches right off. And I mean, you could use on the table, but I don't know. I guess that's still wet. Go ahead and I just use the floor. So anyway, we've got our little cat. He's got his eyeballs going, waiting for him to dry here a little. And then we're going to give him his little mouth. We want to go, let's see, we want to go just down just a little, and then we're going to give him a circle like this. Now everything here is a little wet. We'll have to retrace it, and when we get done, he's going to look a lot better. Well, I want to also show you, let me find it, these brushes right here. They're kind of long. These are great for whiskers. And you know, I think since I don't much care for that black, I'm going to try giving him some white whiskers. And if I don't like it, I'll just paint over him. So this right here is really good for whiskers. And we can just go boom, like this. I gave him 2 whiskers. We'll make them long. See that? And if we make a mistake, don't worry about it. It'll fix. And then I might start out here and work my way in on this one. So there, he has 2 whiskers now. Look at that. Mr. Kitty has 2 whiskers. And again, we're waiting for everything to dry. While we're waiting to dry, we're going to look at our color palette and think, what color? I think I'll give him a scarf or something. So I'm going to look at my palette and think, what would show up? How about we can give him a pink or orange? What do you say? Orange? Okay, we're going to do orange. We're going to give him an orange scarf. So we come back over here. And we're just going to do this. Now remember, everything's going to have to be painted more than once, you know, because it's just the way it is, I guess. I think my paint is not shooken up and it's kind of oily, but we're going to paint him a little scarf here. It looks like a collar, but it's going to be a scarf. See, it's not showing up very well with my film, but you're going to get the idea. See how easy it is to just paint. Now, we got him a scarf. It looks black in the picture, but it's orange. And we're going to kind of just off-center here, make a little circle here. This is going to be his knot. We'll go back and fix it later. See, just make a little circle. Everything's so far easy. Now, we're going to take right here, and we're just going to draw out, down, and up. See that? We went out, and then down at a little angle, and then back in. It don't have to be exact, because when you look at scarves, you know, when they're blowing in the breeze or what have you, they're all different. You just kind of fill in your scarf here, and don't worry about you seeing, you know, lighter here, darker here, because he's going to get a second coat, and that's all going to be covered up. But right now, we're just doing it to show you. See how it's kind of messy over here? Don't worry about that either. Now, we're going to give him the other half of his scarf. And you can go down, down, and back up. And see, that one looks kind of little, so I don't like that. So what we'll do is we'll go down and make it bigger and back up. And I think I want it to have more arch, so we're going to do this. Make it a little bit more arch. See that? And again, we just fill in our scarf, what we got here. Fill it in. Don't worry about any thing that you messed up, I'm just putting it on here to show you. It's not a big deal because we can go back later when it's dry and paint right over that. Okay, now there's his scarf. See that? Now the scarf needs some tassels. So take your little paintbrush and lightly just go like this. See that? No big deal. Just go kind of lightly and make him some tassels blowing in the breeze. And they don't, you know, you can go over it a couple times. It don't have to be, you know, and don't add any more paint to it because you want them to kind of look light and wispy. Alright, now we have to let that dry, and we're going to give our scarf some pattern and some stuff. But as you can see, our cat's coming together. Now, I'm going to go back and see if our eyes are dry yet. So I find my paintbrush with the white on it, and I'm going to add a little white again. And we're going to give our little eyes on just another little coat of white. Pretty soon, he'll look like a kitty cat. Or she. But this would be a fun thing to put into a child's room or a fun adult, I guess. But you can also make your cat look real. I mean, it doesn't have to look childish or have bright colors. You're in charge. It's whatever you like is the way it's going to be. Now again, we're going to go back and we're going to find my nose color, which didn't seem to go on very good. And we're going to do my nose color. Okay, it's still not going on very good. It may have to dry a while. And I'm actually going to take my nose color and I'm going to redo my lips a little. And don't worry about how it looks because it's not a big deal. We can fix it later. It's all really easy. And while we're waiting, cats, you know, they have fur. So we might want to add, you see this little pink color here on the palette. Get myself another paintbrush, don't have pink on it. And we're going to go up here to the kitty cat's ears. And we're just going to dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. See that? Dab, dab. And that ear's a little bit more pale, which is okay. A little bit more dab, 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 dab. See that? We just dabbed. And you know, I might end up making my cat's nose the same color when this is dry, since this one's not seem to be sticking very good. So again, we have to wait for some things to dry. So while we're waiting for dry, we're going to go down here to the corner and we're going to make a flower while waiting for it to dry. So let's pick out what color is going to show up the most. Let's pick out a different color. How about we make an orange flower? What the heck? Let's get some orange. And everything, you're just going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course my paint didn't last here. And we're going to, you can even it up later. You're just going to get the basic shape here. And you can fill it in. This is about the same color as our scarf, huh? See, filling it in. Okay, gotta wait for it to dry. I might want to make these more, a little bit longer where it actually looks like a flower. There we go. And while that dries, we're going to go over here and get some more colors. Gee, there's a lot of colors going on, but when it's done, then we're going to make a vine. We're just going to, you just draw anything you want. See, there's no, and when you run out of paint, just go back and get some more. See that? And then we're going to take and we're going to draw some little curly cues here. Curly cues. We'll make it look like it's attached. So it looks like it's little vines growing out of it. I don't know if you've all seen those little grapevines, how they look, but there's no rhyme or reason. Just kind of stick it on there. You can go over it a couple times to where you can see it and get it all colored in to where it looks like a little grapevines. I'm going to make it. There we go. See, we're getting our cat some vines at the bottom here. Alright, we've got our cat going here. We've got him some vines going at the bottom. Again, everything is just kind of barely there because it's got to have more than one coat and we have to wait for it to dry. So let's go back to his eyeballs and let's give it another coat of white till we think he's His eyeballs are looking decent. Well, it's not dry, so it's not working. Getting him too impatient, I guess. But while we're doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the edge of his coat a little. And I'm using that same white that I just used for these eyes. You know, on second thought, I changed my mind. Let's get a different brush. Let's get a... Okay, we're back to part 2. My camera shut off a minute ago, and for some reason this looks kind of out of focus, but I don't want you all to miss us finishing our kitty cat. So, we was about to get a different brush. I just want to get kind of a soft, fluffy brush here. And we're going to choose, excuse me, a little bit of white. And I don't want to get a ton of paint on it, so I'm going to kind of dab some off. But what we're going to do is, we're going to go to the edges, and we're just going to, you know, kind of tap these edges. We're just tapping. Kind of fluffily just tapping. And we're doing this, you know, kind of waiting for things to dry. And I'm going to go around the whole cat like that. Okay, I went around the whole cat. See, he's got a little white border. But I don't want it to be, you know, so much of a white border. So I'm going to go back and get the same blue that I painted the cat with. And that has green on it. So luckily I have tons of brushes. We'll just get another one. Get a little bit of blue that I painted the cat with. And we're just going to kind of go over that a little bit, you know, gently. We don't want a lot of paint on our brush because we want to see some white and some blue. But we're going to kind of go back over it gently. Kind of like this. So it kind of looks like, you know, the cat has fur. So we're going to just dab, dab, dab. Again, so we're going to roll on the whole cat like that. I'm actually going to show you how I'm dabbing because I'm afraid, you know, you might think, hey, mine don't look like that. But here's some that I've not done yet. I get some blue paint and I kind of dab it off. I don't want it to be a ton of blue paint because it's going to be a ton, and I just barely start tapping. And there's be a whole bunch at first, so I just kind of miss my cat whisker here. And I might go back and fill these areas in. I'm just tapping. I'm not trying to cover all the white. We're just trying to cover some of it. See this? Okay, I think I've about got my kitty cat. You know, that way you can kind of see his edges there. They look a little frayed and rough. It don't have to be perfect. You know, I think we got it. So there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back again and try to get those white eyes touched up there that we was working on before. I think I've got the wrong paintbrush. This is my whisker paintbrush. Remember I told you about, you know, if you get a glob in there or something in there, you just, you know, I got too much paint in that one, totally too much paint. So I'm just going to pull out some of the paint and go over it. See that? And then his whiskers are kind of not showing anymore. Whoop, I just messed up. Just a good point to show you that messing up happens, and it's not a big deal to fix. When we go get completely done, we'll go back and fix it all. Okay, there he is, you see. Now, while I'm going to go away and I'm going to repaint this and this, I'm going to repaint everything and I'm going to come right back. Alright, I'm back, and I painted over the scarf and the flower one more time. So I've got my paintbrush, the white one that I used my whiskers with. And I am going to get some more white on it. And I want to add a pattern to my scarf, which may not be dry. It may not work. Oh my, why is this not focusing? I don't know if I can get this focused or not. Anyway, let's try. We'll start down here at the bottom. And we're going to just go lightly and give him some kind of little, you know, curvy pattern here. And we're just going to periodically just go up the whole scarf just like it, because this is going to be his pattern. And I'm retouching up just these little corners here a little, because my paintbrush is globbing a bunch of white paint on them. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back when I get them all painted. Okay, I added some stripes up this side, down this side, and I made my middle kind of a little bit different since it's in the knot. You might want the stripes to go a different way. Now we want to add some color to our fringes. So I use that same white brush with not a lot of paint on it. You know, I want to add some, you know, some fringes going different directions to add a little color to that. See? Do the same thing over here. I need a little bit of white, but I want to dab off any excess. So we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing. There we go. So we have our fringes. See that? Now what we want to do is our flower needs a little bit of oomph here. I'll tell you what, before we do our flower, let's add just a little bit of white to our vine. Now pretend like the sun is coming in like from this direction. So we're going to add just a smidge of white to wherever, if the sun was coming in that direction, where would it, you know, touch at? So we're just going to lightly go over those areas. And like I said, if you mess up or you get too much white, you can go back and fix it. It's not, you know, a deal breaker, so to speak. And if you mess up and don't get in the right section, say, hey, that's not right again. It's not a big deal. See, I've got a little bit more white there than I like, but I can worry about that later. And then I might put some, just a smidge down through, just barely touching my vine. Just barely touching my vine. Now, I guess I like it all except for that one area. So I'm going to go back and find my green paintbrush and all this. I hope you all are more organized than me, because I'm not overly organized here. But let's go. Again, we want to get any excess off of our brush. And we're going to add, whoop, I'm not even showing you. We're going to add just a little bit of green to that. See, no big deal. Now we want to go back to our orange flower. And I think I want to get that same white brush if I can find it. And I want to give my flower a white center. See that? I want to give it a white center. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint around each little orange, kind of really make it look like it's a flower. See here, kind of like this. And we'll go through and fix it a little better here in a minute also. Now see, it looks more like a flower. And then just make a line in the middle of each one. See a line, we'll just put a little line in there. Got out of paint, but I don't want to put a bunch of paint on it. There we go. Now, I want to add just a touch more. I tell you what, how about we add another color? Guess what? I need another brush. Or I guess you all might want to be cleaning your brushes. I don't know if you have as many as I have access to here, but I'm going to go back to my flower with a little bit of light green. I'm going to dab off any extra. And you know, I might want to just well, it's not really showing on here, but I'm just putting a little bit in here so I don't see that white streak so bad, but you all can't see that. So I'm gonna go around and I'm going to go over what I just painted in the white, kind of just a little, make it not look so pronounced, I guess. I tell you what, I may have to get a different color to go in the center. See what I'm doing here? See? We'll call that good for now. We've got our flower. I'd like to get my center a little bit more white, but again, we have to let everything dry. We're going to go up to the eyes before I run out of film again. And you're going to get a small paintbrush, which I think I need another one. A small paintbrush, and we're going to get some black. Now, we want to go, my paintbrush looks like it's going all different directions. I may not have chose, I'm going to get a different brush. I think that one's no good. Hold on, let me see here. Sorry, people. Alright, let me get some black again. Alright, now, we don't want to go dead center. We're going to go make a little circle here. Just a little one. And we want it just a little off center and up, like he's looking up and off. Okay, whoop, I grabbed the wrong color. Anyway, going to do, and you got to do the other one on the same side, just kind of like it. And again, I kind of got mine a little off center. I'll fix it. We kind of want it to look like that. See that? Now, I've got this eye over here a little bit too much. I'll paint white over that later, but while we're waiting for those to dry, we are going to get a little paintbrush with some color. Maybe I'll use my orange, just a little bit darker color. You can use orange, black. I'll use the orange for this since we've got orange out. I'll go use the orange, but we want to dab any excess off of our paint again. We just want a little bit of color, but what we want is we want to come right down here. I'm going to try to focus on those eyes there. We're going to come right down here, and just right below, we're going to do this. Just right at the bottom of both eyes. You see that? Going to make it kind of almost look like it's a little... Now what this does, when we're done, is makes your eyes look a little bit more 3D. Okay, now I've got that at the bottom. So now what I want to do is go back with my white brush. Again, just with a little bit of paint, not a lot. And we're going to just kind of barely go touch over it. Kind of blend it in just a little. Do the same thing over here. Of course, this is going to get black on your paintbrush now. You might want to have a couple paintbrushes for this, or clean it really good in between. Whoops, sorry, I need to get a little bit more white because I had that one, got too much black on that paintbrush. Anyway, we need to go back over it and just, I think, and fill it in just a little here. Now that makes his eyes look a little bit 3D-ish. It's really hard to see in the picture. Yeah, you just want to do it very lightly and very, you know, just barely touch it. Now see, I have those two almost touching, so I might, you know, go back at some point, maybe right now, and trim that up a little. So again, you'll need a super fine paintbrush, which I did not grab. Let's try it, because I would like to be able to see space between there. See that? That's what I did. And I'd also like to do the same thing with the white on his eye. I need to barely go around that like that. And what I'm going to do is find my black paintbrush and all this, which I don't really know where it went. There it is. And I'm going to fix his eyes just a little. Now, in a minute, we're going to put a white dot in those eyes. But while we wait, I think he kind of looks like a boy cat. I don't think he looks too feminine. But if you want him to be a girl cat, you can give him some eyelashes. Some eyelashes. You can give him some eyelashes. But since he kind of looks like a boy, we're not sure. What do you say we give him some green eyelashes? That way he can be a girl or a boy. But first I have to find a brush. You want it to be a little brush. So, a little skinny brush. Again, we'll just give him some eyebrows. How about 3? We'll give him 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. There. Now he looks like a girl. Maybe we'll give him a couple more. What the heck. There we go. Oh, now it's definitely a girl kitty. What do you think? Okay. Now, we never did fix his nose, her nose, or fix its eyes. We're almost done. Of course, you could always touch up and do some more paint. But I want to fix the nose, and since that one color never really filled in, I'm going to go back and use the pink. the same pink that we used on the ears. And again, you can use whatever colors that you like, because it's your cat. You know, whatever color that you want. I might try that pink again. I really would like to make that pink work. Maybe I could make it work on its mouth. Nope, that pink just isn't working. Okay, let's maybe... I can't decide if I want it to have light lips or dark lips. What do y'all think? Well, that's a question you guys can decide if you want it to have light lips or dark lips. You know, it's just whatever you decide. Oh, we got one more thing to do before our cat is done. Again, you can add any details, any bows, ribbons, fluff, anything that you think you'd like. We got to do one more thing to the eyes, okay? We have to get just another little dot of white. And you have to just do one dot. And my dots are kind of too big, but in all, that's how you paint the cat. There it is. And then if you'd like, down here at the bottom, I usually do my initials. I'll do a little L and a little M. Whoops. And that I am. So there I am. And you all can do the same thing. So that's how you paint a cat. There you have it. What do you think? Are you proud? Of course, you might not want to, you know, his eyes, his eyes need to be fixed a little better, but for time's sake, have fun until next time, people. God bless.